Yes, when it comes to a $2,000 fourth stimulus check specifically focused on Social Security, including retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, RRB, low income, no income, seniors, older adults, and of course, people with disabilities. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, now this is a very important topic as we are watching the economy crumble right before our eyes. Now, we need to watch everything very closely out of the administration, the president, all the lawmakers, and of course Congress, and we need to watch the Federal Reserve, because I can tell you this much, the actions out of the Federal Reserve right now by aggressively raising interest rates is crushing this economy. Well, if we look back in history, we can see that they do not allow the economy to crumble for very long before the Federal Reserve reverses policy, they step in and print a bunch of money, and then they plow it out into the economy, and again, typically it goes out in the form of stimulus checks. So we have a lot to talk about right here in the video. Let's get into it and talk about a $2,000 fourth stimulus check, and of course, specifically focused on the fixed income beneficiaries I mentioned just a few seconds ago. Let's get right into it. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video. As I am your one and only daily advocate, I'm watching everything hitting the wire every single day, doing all the necessary research and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay updated with what is actually going on right now as things continue to change very rapidly, especially as it pertains to you, your money, your bank account, your lifestyle, how much money you're going to be getting going forward, and of course the likelihood of another stimulus check, as well as we need to continue watching, like I said, anything out of the administration, the president, lawmakers, Congress, and of course everything that Congress is always proposing with all these new bills and packages, proposals and amendments, reform to very important fixed income benefits. There's a lot of different packages out there right now to reform fixed income benefits, but again, more on that in a separate video. There's a lot going on right now. Seriously, it is a very, very busy time, and as we watch this economy crumble even more, there's going to be a lot more people coming out with more bills, proposals, things like that, and again, there's going to be a lot of money at stake right now. So let's get into it and talk about all the details, and again, please make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss anything going forward, as it's only going to get busier the further that we move along here. So it's a very weird time that we're living through right now. Seriously, I've said it before, let me say it really quickly once again. Sometimes when I come in here, it's like every single day, I think, what am I possibly going to find today with all the research? It's like, just when you thought you've heard it all, oh no, something else pops up and it's super weird, right? Every single day, it's like, didn't see that one coming. Where did that one come from, right? Seriously, it is the weirdest stuff that's going on right now. We've never experienced things that we are going through right now. This is super weird, right? Anyway, as a result of that, weird times call for weird measures. Or something like that, I guess. I'm kidding. That's not what the saying is, but you know what I'm saying here. It's like super weird right now. But anyway, again, subscribe down below so you don't miss any videos going forward. Let's get into it and talk about it. So first off, I want to make it very, very clear so we're all on the same page from the very start here. As of right now, a $2,000 fourth stimulus check has not been approved. But again, if you've been watching the videos here on the channel for any length of time now, you know this because we've talked about it before in separate videos. But I wanted to make that very clear. Now, I do want to answer another question that I do see popping up down below a lot in the comment section. Literally, I see this question every single day. And again, it could be in regards to a $2,000 check. It could be $1,400. It could be $2,400. It could be $500. It could be $600. It could be 32 cents. Literally, it does not matter the dollar amount. In the event of another stimulus check, fourth stimulus check, fifth stimulus check, ongoing monthly checks, will fixed income beneficiaries be eligible for it? By all means, yes, of course. Now again, I know that I'm saying $2,000 check in this video, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. It could be any dollar amount. But I do see specifically down in the comment section, many people here in the community who are fixed income beneficiaries reaching out saying, whatever happened to that $2,000 check we were supposed to get back in 2021? We never got it. It was $1,400. Yeah, you're right. They told us it was going to be $2,000, but it ended up being $1,400. That was a long time ago. That's, done and over with. But again, it sure would be nice if they came forward and did something else, right? But again, as we continue to watch this economy crumble, I mean, this thing is like, it's like a cookie. It's crumbling all over the place, right? So I was going to think of a better analogy. Like, what's something that's really crumbly? It's like, I don't know, something that's really crumbly, right? Maybe like a graham cracker, right? They just crumble all over the place and turn into little breadcrumbs, right? So anyway, we need to watch this situation going forward because, like I said, when the economy is doing things like it currently is now, they typically don't let this go on for very long. Now, of course, this is self-inflicted. We know this. We knew this was coming. This is no surprise at all. We had a lot of time to actually be prepared for this. The Federal Reserve has been warning us for many, many months. Hey, everybody, look out. We're going to aggressively raise interest rates. It's going to crush the economy. It's going to make it hard for businesses. It's going to make it hard for households. It's going to make it hard for families and individuals. But we're going to do it anyway. And that's what they've been doing. And it's making it super tough, right? Well, this economy is contracting a lot. And that's okay. An economic contraction is not the worst thing in the world. But here's the problem. When the economic contraction gets too long, when it contracts too long, when it contracts too hard, and it falls too much, that's when the Federal Reserve steps in and prints a bunch of money because they have that ability. You and me? No, sorry, we can't print money. I mean, we legally, obviously, we can't, right? That's not something we can do. But guess what? The Federal Reserve can. They have the ability to print money. They have a printing press, or actually they don't. All it is literally just digits on a computer where they just sit there and they type a bunch of digits and they say, boom, there we go. We just printed $500 billion or whatever they happen to choose, right? Whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. It's literally just changing digits. So not a bad job, right? Seriously, how fun would that be, right? I think I'm going to print $100 billion today. Done. $100 billion, done. You know what I mean? How cool would that be, right? So make sure you got enough commas and zeros in there. Otherwise, it might be 100 million. How sad would that be? Print 100 million instead of 100 billion? Oh man, what a sad day, right? I mean, seriously, it's just nuts, the things that that are going on. But the fact of the matter is, when it comes down to it, again, many of you here in the community are wondering, what's going on with the $2,000 check? Are we getting something? Are we going to be included? Now, here's the thing. Let me break this down here really quickly for you. In the event of another check, then yes, by all means, you would be included for it. Now, again, I can't say that with 100% certainty just because in the weird case scenario where they come forward, Congress, and they start working on something else, if they happen to do so, and again, they will at some point, it's just a matter of when they will actually do another check, right? So when they actually come forward to do another check, and again, I have no clue. It totally depends on how deep this recession and how hard this economy is going to crash and burn. It's all going to come down to that. But the fact of the matter is, we know that Congress loves stimulus checks. They've done stimulus checks for the last 22 years. Why would that change, right? Stimulus checks are not a new concept. They've been doing them for a very long time. So anyway, just want to make that clear. But again, when Congress comes down to it to negotiate all the details of another check, unless there's some weird language in there, some weird provisions that say everybody's going to get a check today except for fixed income beneficiaries. I don't foresee that happening. Unless there's some kind of weird language in there, then of course, yes, you would be included for another check, okay? So again, I can't guarantee that with 100% certainty just because, who knows? Congress is weird sometimes and they do weird stuff. So again, I just have to throw that out there as a quick disclaimer. Now, another thing too, I've seen some people down below saying, what about that petition? Is the petition going to offer another check? No, the petition, I mean, it's just a petition that somebody wrote up, okay? Yes, it has a lot of signatures, over 3 million signatures on that petition, calling for a $2,000 fourth stimulus check and even ongoing monthly payments. Just because there's a lot of signatures on it, just because there's over 3 million people that have signed that, like a lot of us here in the community, it doesn't mean anything. I mean, that petition, Congress never even gave it the time of the day. The president never even acknowledged it. For the administration as a whole, never even talked about it, okay? So the fact of the matter is the petition is great. It shows a lot of support. There's a lot of people out there that want a $2,000 check. There's a lot of us here in the community that want/need a $2,000 check. But just because all that's out there doesn't mean that Congress, gives a rip about it, right? It'd be nice if they did, but unfortunately, the petition that's out there right now doesn't really have any weight at all. It has nothing when it comes down to the influence on Congress, okay? So just remember that. I always like to refer to that, the petition, just kind of give you an idea of what's going on with it. But for the fact of the matter, it doesn't really have any weighting at all when it comes to approving another check. What really does have the weighting, number one, the Federal Reserve. The policies of the Federal Reserve to see what they're doing with the interest rate policy. That's number one. Number two, the job market. As the Federal Reserve continues to crush this market in like the little can crusher on your grandpa's garage wall. Yes, my grandpa had one. Do you remember those days? That was the coolest thing when I was a kid, right? You have a bunch of pop cans, you go out there, or sorry, I know some people call it soda cans. Where I'm from, we call it pop cans, whatever, same old thing, right? But whatever, the whole little thing on the wall, it has the lever and the little flat spots. You put the can in there and you crush it and it smashes it into like a little 1-inch little cube thing. Pretty cool, right? Remember those days? I do. I remember spending all kinds of time just smashing cans because it was like the only thing to do at my grandparents' house, right? So, or play ping pong in the basement. I mean, seriously, let's be real right now, right? I mean, who didn't have one of those in the basement also, right? So anyway, in the dark, musty basement that was unfinished and concrete floor. So anyway, we all know those days, right? It brings me back. It's funny. But the fact of the matter is, when it comes down to it, it's all going to be looking at the Federal Reserve, the policies out of the Federal Reserve, as well as what's going on with the job market. As the Federal Reserve continues to crush this market, this economy, just like the cans in Little Crusher when I was a little 10-year-old kid doing that kind of stuff, it's going to be the same old thing. We need to watch the job market. What happens with jobs with this economy? Because here's the thing. We already know there's a lot of people that are losing their jobs right now. A lot of people are becoming unemployed. A lot of people are being laid off. Businesses are going under. Yes, there's bankruptcies. There's closures. Businesses are laying off. They're constricting. They're starting to contract because that's what they have to do. They need to conserve capital in order to make it through this storm. And it's going to be a storm, right? Like a old hurricane coming in, and it's going to pound some places. So again, not a good situation. And unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. That's just the situation we're currently dealing with right now. But anyway, I wanted to break this down for you, kind of answer some questions that I've been seeing down in the comment section, as well as break this all out for you and let you know what is going on in regards to a $2,000 check. You know, it's going to be just like every other recession that we've seen every single time. What happened in 2020? Well, COVID came in, there were business closures, the unemployment rate went through the roof, went up a ton. A lot of people were laid off and out of work at the time. The stock market nosedive was down about 50%, depending on the indices that you were looking at. And all of a sudden, they announced a huge stimulus package. What happened then? The stock market literally turned on a dime and went straight up for about 2 years. You remember that? Well, I do because I watch the stock market very closely. Okay, the real estate market was off on a tear, going through a huge price appreciation for about 2 years' time before again it turned around. So a lot of different things happened. What happened back in 2008, 2009 during the last recession prior to 2020? Same old thing. Markets were falling off a cliff because of the housing market getting overheated in 2007, topped out in 2008, and then all of a sudden the whole thing went down for about a year, bottomed in early 2009 when Congress yet again appropriated about $900 billion, and then all of a sudden everything turned around on a dime and went straight up for a very long time. For about 10 years, things went up. So again, same old situation. We're going to see the same thing happen yet again. The same thing happens all the time. History repeats itself. It's not the same old picture, but pretty much it's a replica of the same old picture, right? It's like a sequel, the same old thing happening over and over and over again. So anyway, I'm watching all this stuff closely. That's why I said you got to make sure that you're subscribed, because I'm watching all this stuff. I'm doing all the research and breaking it down into the shortest videos that I possibly can, so you can see the whole picture in a short amount of time that I'm breaking all this down to you, talking as fast as I possibly can. Sometimes I can't even keep up with myself because I'm trying to talk faster than, what I actually can, right? Anyway, I'm here for you in any way that I can be. I hope this gives you a better perspective on what's going on, what I'm watching closely, how it pertains to a $2,000 focused stimulus check for fixed income beneficiaries, and, of course, answering the very important question, will you be included? The answer to that is yes, almost a 100% guarantee. The reason that I say almost is because I can't guarantee anything. If I'm not the decision maker, of course, obviously, I can't guarantee anything 100%. But the likelihood is very, 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 very high. In the event of another check being approved, then yes, of course, you would most likely be approved along with it as well and eligible for it, just like the last three that we got, the $1,200, the $600, and the $1,400 from early 2020, late 2020, and early 2021. Make sense? Anyway, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. Please make sure to subscribe down below, share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out some of the other thousands and thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, have a good one, enjoy your day, and I'll catch you